What's up, guys? Today I'm talking about 10 ways that I actually make money as a musician and a producer, and that's coming up next. Hey everybody, Lennon here with soundandpatternsmusic.com. Got a real simple video for you today, but one that I hope will sort of challenge your mindset on where you can monetize yourself as a musician and a producer. And if this is your first time here, I want to say thanks so much for being here. This channel exists to help you make better music and to make that music your business. So if you dig this style of content, please consider subscribing and hitting that little notification bell. All right, so let's jump right into it. I'm gonna kind of zoom through a few of these and then give a little more explanation where I feel it's needed. And you'll definitely want to stick around to the end because I'm gonna give a handful of bonus options because I really want you to walk away with hopefully a new idea to help boost your music business. Number one, I am a drummer, so I do freelance drumming. I've been touring with a band called Madison Ward and the Mama Bear. I was in a band called Ha Ha Tonka for about 10 years. We toured all over the US and Europe. I play with a gal by the name of Claire Adams, who's in a band called Katie Gian and the Girls here in KC, and am also a drummer for Life Church. And I've been doing drums for a lot of years. I started when I was in high school, and this is really probably one of my more lucrative points of income and probably one of my favorites as well. There's nothing that beats getting to play music in front of people. Number two is producing and mixing. So I do production and mixing for bands here in KC. I've also just recently did a mix for a guy out in Boston. I'm doing some mixes for a licensing company out in LA. So just varying clients depending on the time and what's happening. Number three is session drumming. So I share the studio with my associate Joel Nanos. He runs the A room. I inhabit the B room here, and he'll have me come in and do a lot of session work for his clients. I'll either charge sort of by the song or a day rate depending. And maybe that's something I'll go over more in depth in a later video. If you want to hear about how I price myself, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to do that. The next one's a little bit different. I do some recording for podcasts and voiceovers. So we'll actually have corporate clients come in. I do things as weird as recording lectures for chiropractors, and this is just something that kind of gets a few hours under the belt. And these are materials that, these companies don't have. So for them to come into a professional environment and know that they're gonna get to knock out this piece of content for their company at a rate that allows them to not have to buy really expensive gear, this works out for them and it works out for me as well. I also do mixing and recording lessons. So I do have some students or people that come in here and they say, hey, would you teach me how to mix my own stuff? So I'll offer up lessons either as I do mixes or just as a standalone product. A handful of months ago, we at the studio here actually got connected with a company called The Recording Connection. So if you follow other musicians and producers, you may have actually heard of this school. So I have been teaching an Ableton course for them. So this is something that we just ended up getting hooked up with because of the studio specifically, and it's worked out really well. And although I am taking a break from this source of income this year, for the past 5 or 6 years, I was doing some freelance educating and teaching for high school marching band programs, and I'll even do some judging for different competitions depending on the area. And that's sort of one of those weird ones where, maybe you have a skill set that specifically allows you the opportunity to be a judge or somebody that can put themselves in a situation like this where there is more of a competitive circle within your skill set, and maybe that would give you an opportunity to make a few extra bucks on the side. I also do music business consulting, so if let's say you are a musician who's been struggling to get your business off the ground, we'll go in and audit your situation, look at what your talents are, look at what you are capable of doing, and figure out how to monetize that for you and to really start to boost the income level of your business. And that's really what sort of sparked this channel in general, which is me trying to empower more of you to go out and treat yourself as a business because you're perfectly capable of doing so. I also do licensing and writing specifically for TV and films, and so my friend Amy Ward and I more recently have been licensing some tracks with a company called Riptide out of Los Angeles. We have an exclusive agreement with them which allows them to pitch to television and movies and things like that. I also co-wrote a song with a girl named Kay Flay, who's a Grammy nominee, incredible artist. You should definitely check her out. And we ended up landing a big commercial over in Germany last summer, which was a huge deal for both of us. So, you know, these types of licensing things are really a bit more of a gamble on the front end, but if you are prolific and really pushing and getting your music in the right channels, it can be a very lucrative business. And there are some smaller avenues that I'll get into in later videos that will hopefully help you learn how to license your stuff more on an individual basis. But for now, this is just an option that I'm throwing out there in the grand lump of income streams. And then lastly, I also write and sell music to stock music companies. So companies like Premium Beat and Shutterstock. So if you do video work, you may have heard of these companies. As for revenue streams, this is a great one, and I plan to actually put together a course that will specifically teach you sort of the formula to putting together stock music and getting those productions out there. This can be a great way for you to really start to up your production game if you're trying to do more modern songs, more modern writing and mixing and production, and can be sort of paid learning, which is a really, really cool avenue for you to make some money and then also escalate your writing skill sets. And as a bonus, like, these aren't things that I specifically do now, but maybe have done in the past or have friends that do this. And some of these things may not fit within your goal, but these avenues and these jobs may be able to put you in touch with people that could get you down that road. So no matter what instrument you play, you can teach lessons. This is something that a ton of my friends do. I have friends that have a student body within their studio of 30 to 50 kids over the course of a week, which is insane to me. And some of these friends make their entire living off of just doing lessons alone. So that is a very lucrative situation if that's something that you want to get into and try to build. You can do live shows if you are a musician or an artist and be able to pocket whatever money you make from those. You can also do merchandise for you and your brand, your band, your artist situation. You can do public speaking, be an event organizer, run live sound for a venue or specifically for a band if you want to go out on the road. You can be a show promoter, a tech, so like a guitar tech or a drum tech, go out on some of these bigger shows where bands need somebody to help change guitar strings in between songs, or, you know, hand over and exchange equipment that needs to be changed during transitional elements of the production. You can also be a tour manager, and I have friends that have done tour management and front of house stuff or, you know, live sound stuff that have gone on to do big things. A buddy of mine is out with Bon Iver right now. I mean, if you're really good at those situations and those jobs and you're willing to be out on the road all the time, I'm telling you, you can make a really great living and just constantly be in cool situations, cool spaces, working with great people. This may be something that could really help you. And hopefully, you know, any one of these things that I've mentioned just helps to sort of spark some ideas in your own brain. So I would encourage you to audit your situation and your talents and figure out what you might be able to monetize. Maybe this really encourages you in some way to think outside the box. And if you dig this content, think about subscribing, hitting the little notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.